I do remember that August 2nd when Iraq invaded Kuwait. I remember the date, and then mess deck talk starts. And the rumors always start, it's like, oh, we're going over. And I very clearly remember that they did a hands fall in on the flight deck. It was maybe 2 or 3 days later. And they said, rumors are going around that we're going to the Persian Gulf. And this was from the CO. And he said, there is no way we are going to the Persian Gulf. It is nothing. It's not going to happen. Forget it. And then they dismissed us. So then it was literally 2 days later, a day later, something like that. They let our hands fall in, and they said, it's possible. There's talk from Maryland, there's talk from Ottawa that there's might be a contingent going over. So then on the 10th, when we actually found out, they said they wanted everyone to muster into their mess decks and turn the TV on. And so we were down in the mess decks, and Brian Mulrooney came on press conference, and they said these 3 ships are going, and you literally could have heard a pin drop in the mess. And there was like 54 men in my mess, and you could have heard a pin drop. It's like, and there were some people who didn't want to go, and there were some. I was really nervous. I was like, wow, what are we doing here? What's gonna happen? And once the initial shock I got over the initial shocks, okay, we're going to a war zone. It's like, I'm making sure I'm going to be there. So I went to one of my petty officers, he was a senior petty officer, and George Robertson, and he was one of the guys who was training us. And I looked up to George a lot, and I said, P.O., I said, I want you to make sure that I'm on the short list to go, because they immediately went into they start putting the list of who they're going to put, the crew they want, and the people they're going to land. So they do temporary duties, bringing people in, posting people off, attach posting people in, such as that. And he said, don't worry, you're going to be there. And I said, great. So then once they got that, I knew what I was doing. And then essentially for those 2 weeks, because we found out on the 10th, on the 24th, those 2 weeks was just a constant getting ready. I mean, literally that night, they were in cutting off the mortars, the old mortars that we had on the ship, to put in the Sea Whiz. And I remember lineups for needles, lineups for stores, all of our NBC gear, all of our extra tropical kit, which as an engineer, we never wore tropical kit. We were always long pants and shirts, always. We couldn't wear shorts. All that happened, and then the extra training, and it was nonstop. So it didn't really give you a lot of chance to be in a shock. It's like you're going, and you got to be ready yesterday.